So before we get into this reaction, I just want to mention a member of the Nuclear family who could use our help. Rachel recently moved from Florida to California and is really struggling with moving expenses. Now, she's working hard, but the financial situation is very difficult for her. We've all been there, and I know a lot of you can relate. So if you're able, please donate something to help, or at the very least, take the link and share it around to everyone you know. That link will be the first thing in the description beneath the video. So if you can donate something, or if you feel so inclined, please share it, and that's very much appreciated. Thanks, guys. Let's nuke selfishness and take care of one another. And now let's get to that reaction. I'm Blake X, and this is another Nuclear reaction. What's up, survivors? So, I'm a day late on this, but better late than never. Pit of Consciousness by Jinjer, the brand new single that they just dropped, including the official music video, which, as always, fingers crossed, hope it doesn't get blocked. And this is off the new album, Macro, which dropped about a week prior to this. And I've already mentioned how I met Jinjer, I went to their show, it was really awesome, I had a great time. And it should go without saying that this is one of my favorite bands of all time. In fact, I consider them to be my second favorite band, behind only Lacuna Coil. So they come very, very close for me. And I really like what these guys do, man. I really like them as musicians and as people. Now, I've heard this song before because I've heard every song on Macro. When the album was released, I went over on Spotify and I listened to everything. And when I'm able, I'm going to be purchasing the physical copy of the album. So yeah, I have heard this song before. And so far, it's not my favorite song on the album, but it is a very solid track. My opinion on all these songs is still developing because I've only heard them for, about a week now. And so I need a little bit longer to kind of process each song and find out what I really think about each track on the album. But I do know that the album overall is very excellent and very strong. Probably the strongest album they've ever done. Although Micro, even though it's just an EP, comes very close to challenging it in terms of having really good material. But of course, Micro and Macro obviously are connected. So yeah, really great stuff that they're coming out with. And I'm really just excited to see what they bring with the music video. So it's mainly a reaction to the video itself rather than just the song. The song is going to be more of a review, but as always, I will be breaking down the lyrics and talking about the song meaning. So I'm going to find out if this song is a grower for me, and if it is, just how much it's going to grow on me. But I do like it already, that's for sure. And there's not a single song on this new album that I don't like, but some I do like more than others. So I think I'm rambling now, so I'm just going to dive into this. As always, patreon.com/nuclearreactions. If you want to, you can become a patron for as low as $2 a month. And the Facebook group, The Mushroom Cloud, and the merch store, Ye Olde Nuclear Shop. All of these things will be linked below in the description beneath the video. So check them out if you want to enhance your experience as a member of the Nuclear family and show your support for the channel. All right, Pit of Consciousness by Jinjer. Let's get to it in 3, 2, 1, go. Trying to balance appreciating the music and paying attention to the video.
I'm climbing hand over fist, and I scratch concrete shine in the end. My mistake, it's not there. The air is terribly heavy here. It settles inside and I suffer burn after burn from the dark.
So far, really cool music video. It is kind of basic in that it's just a video of the band playing, but spliced into that is some interesting imagery, like, Tatiana on fire. I think that's a really cool shot. So the aesthetics and the design here are really on point. I really like that, regardless of the fact that it's just the band performing. The black and white color scheme of this video reminds me actually of the Dreadful Moments lyric video a little bit. So that's interesting. And again, of course, Micro and Macro are connected. So I don't know if the very minor aesthetic similarity is on purpose or just, kind of coincidental, or maybe that's just me. But yeah, I am liking it so far. It's very engaging, very appealing to me. And of course, the music, like I said, this is a very strong song, but not the strongest on the album. But I am really paying attention to the music and really appreciating instrumentation and the vocals. So maybe my opinion will change. Maybe I'll like it even better after this listen. We'll have to see. But yeah, really enjoying this so far. So let's continue.
In a pit of consciousness, school is bleeding, so I feel there was someone else before me. Eyes are changing colors, a strange knocks on my mind. I became
I like the black eye contacts. Looks awesome. I gotta say, I really like Vlad's drumming on this one. That's really good. Yeah, I'm starting to like this video more and more. So I really like the imagery where they show multiple versions of Tatiana, and of course I think that falls in line with what the song is about, which I'll talk about after I listen to the music. But yeah, I'm really appreciating the video much more as it goes on. Like, the aesthetics are really cool. It's very epic looking, very like dark and dramatic. Dare I say it, even maybe slightly gothic, you know, in its look. I like the different shots of Tatiana. I like the different angles and the different, you know, kind of special effects they have going on, like the kind of fire/lightning that's coming out of her hands in that one shot. That was really cool. So yeah, Jinjer is one of those bands that can take like a very basic idea of just a band performing on camera, and they can get someone who can make a very good video out of it. You know, whether it comes down to the designs or the color scheme or just the shots, the camera angles. You know, Ape is another good example of that. Like, it was another just video of the band playing by themselves, but because of the colors and the flashing lights and the camera angles, that made for a very interesting and very captivating video. And this is like much along the same lines, not in the same way as Ape. Like, this has its own style that's very much different, but this is very, very appealing to me. Yeah, and the song, I think when I sit down and do these reactions and reviews and really do a full breakdown and really think about and pay full deep attention to the instrumental work and the vocals and everything like that, I really do think that leads to me appreciating the song more, because I do think that my my interest in this song is building and growing, you know, now that I'm reacting to it with you guys. So it's really cool that you guys are being a part of that experience with me. And yeah, this might be bumping up as a track that I like more now after hearing this and after seeing the video. We'll have to see though. But yeah, so far, very good. So let's finish it up.
Stillness times, we shed run, creeped away to the light. In my head, someone else setting snares for my soul.
Listen to that drumming, it's awesome. Okay, Pit of Consciousness by Jinjer. That was cool, man. That was a cool video for sure. And the main thing that I'm really appreciating now that I didn't quite have as much respect for the first time, because maybe I wasn't giving it quite the full attention that I give when I do the songs like this individually on the channel. So what I'm really appreciating now about this song, and which I think is one of the most powerful things in this particular song, is the drumming. And of course, Vlad is an excellent drummer. He's good in every song. But in this one in particular, I just really like how the drumming sounds. I don't know why. And as I always say, I'm not a musician. I'm a music lover and I'm a writer. Those are my main things. So I don't, know fully what goes into the instrumental work, with music like this. But I do know what I hear, and I do know that I like what I hear. So at the very least, I got to give credit for that. And Tatiana's vocals are very good in this one as well. I like the melody that she uses with her cleans, and of course, her growls are always on point. I mean, that's never surprising. I mean, it's surprising how talented she is if you sit down and think about it, but it's never surprising that it sounds good if you're a Jinjer fan. Like, you just come to expect that. Roman and Eugene, of course, are excellent, as always. Yeah, pretty much everything about this song was on point, but I can say the same for every song on the album, and that's a great thing to say. But that's why it's like some songs I like a little bit better than others, because like when every song is like fantastic, you have to find like the one or two songs that are truly phenomenal to you. So it's, it's a very interesting kind of thing, when you like every song on an album. But that was the case with their micro EP too, So they're going in a very cool direction, and a very interesting direction. There's a lot of different, interplay with parts of other musical genres, like reggae. There's even a part that sounds like a little bit of a jazz bit in the song Home Back, which is another one of my favorite songs off the new album. Maybe I should do a review of that one in the near future. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments. But yeah, I really like the direction they're headed in. I like that they're branching out musically and exploring more, and that they're not afraid to step out of their comfort zone. And we're stepping right out of it with them as fans. And I think that's going to be a really awesome experience, increasingly so as they make more and more music. And this song is another example of that, I love all their old stuff, but this song, to me, this whole album is very much stronger than their first few albums. And of course, that's just my personal take on it, but I think a lot of other Jinjer fans can agree that they're getting better and better, which is the direction you should be going in as a band. So it seems like they're destined for great things as a band, and I think that's really, really cool, and I'm excited about that as a fan and as a lover of metal. So all that being said about the music, let's get to the lyrics. I keep on losing the keys from reality, and now I'm passing on the wheel to insanity. In a secluded corner, waiting for my time to come, waiting for the bedlam to be pacified. I am climbing hand over fist, and I scratch concrete, shine in the end, my mistake, it's not there. The air is terribly heavy here, it settles inside, and I suffer burn after burn from the dark burn. That's an interesting idea and concept. I am climbing hand over fist, and I scratch concrete, shine in the end, my mistake, it's not there. So it's like you're up in the air, you're a star, and you're up so high that you can't come down. That's kind of my interpretation. That's what I'm taking from that verse. Very interesting writing. Of course, that's no surprise either. Always excellent lyrics with these guys. In a pit of consciousness, squeal is bleeding, so I feel there was someone else before me. Eyes are changing colors. A stranger knocks on my mind. I became a foreigner to myself. Stillness stuns, wish I'd run, creeped away to the light. In my head, someone else, setting snares for my soul. Wow. In the darkest place, what was once named consciousness, I am a miniature, I'm a sketch, forfeiting outlines. Irrelevant entity to sanity, a hive for nonsense, for multiple selves, resonating but never compromising. Stillness stuns, wished I'd run, creeped away to the light. In my head, someone else, setting snares for my soul. So, actually, before I do my breakdown here, let me go back to the video, because the band themselves, actually Eugene specifically, released a statement, so I'll read that here first. And he says, "This is a song that can be applied to each of us in the band. Living a life at full pace after years of touring. Have we accidentally let someone else in our heads and become foreigners to ourselves? Holding on to the hope that we can keep those doors shut." So that's something I can really understand, actually. And it's an idea I can respect, because you're not just talking about individuality, right? You're also talking about quality of character, and whether or not what drives and motivates you and what makes up your personality could be changed by outside influences. And I think that we're changed by outside influences every day. The people and the things around us, the reality around us shapes us at the end of the day and plays a huge part in our identity. But this is, I think, talking about something on a much greater scale where you change very significantly from the person you were before and the concern that goes along with that. And this is a band that I'm sure had a rough life. They come from Ukraine, which, of course, we all know the political unrest happening there now, with the band unable to even get home. From what I understand, that home that they lived in was Orlivka, which is in the Donetsk region of the country, currently a conflict and war in the area, and currently occupied by separatist armed forces. So the band had to relocate to Kiev. So this obviously happened later in their lives, but even before that, I think they had difficult upbringings and had to work very hard, and earn very little money. I think these are all things that the band has mentioned in interviews. So it really took a lot of hunger and musical passion, really a fierce ambition and work ethic for them to get to where they are now. And that's something I think I always bring up about Jinjer because it's very easy to see, and it's something I really respect about the band. And, it circles back to the whole starving artist thing, right? I think there's a line that someone said, there are no well-fed artists, something like that. I'm probably paraphrasing somehow, but you get the gist of it. And the thing about gaining popularity, especially as musicians, is that I think that's sort of a double-edged sword, because you work so hard to get to that place, but if you're not careful and you forget your roots and forget where you came from, I think that does open up a door to possibly lose the values and the motivators that you picked up along the way. And I don't see that ever happening to this band. I think they'll always be as genuine and as real as they are today, but I do understand how that kind of fear can arise. And I think that's the case whenever you gain any sort of influence. Just a little touch of it can change the way you think or the way that you act. Even with this channel, look, not only do I remind myself to stay true to who I am, but I remind myself that now that I do have a small bit of influence, to viewers and subscribers, I have a greater responsibility to do something good and positive with that influence. And there are some cool lines in this song, by the way. Although, again, that shouldn't surprise me by now. But like these lines here, in the darkest place, what once was named consciousness, I'm a miniature, I'm a sketch, forfeiting outlines. So it's like you're a trace or a shadow of who you used to be. Forfeiting outlines, so it's like you're not in control, That's what I'm taking away from that. And the opening verse is really good, too. I keep on losing the keys from reality, and now I'm passing on the wheel to insanity, in a secluded corner, waiting for my time to come, waiting for the bedlam to be pacified. These guys are good, man. Simple fact. And I think that kind of refers to the rush and the sort of craziness that comes with the metal lifestyle. Those sets of lines there. The constant hard work involved in touring, all the shows, the meet and greets, the fans, the interviews. It's like, it must be like Las Vegas in your head, The lights are on 24/7 and the noise never stops. And I'm sure the band loves that. Like, obviously, they wouldn't be doing this if they didn't love what they do. But I'm also sure that it does get overwhelming at times, I said this a few videos ago, but after the Jinjer show here in Chicago, you had people prowling around the tour bus, trying to get a few more autographs. And I was waiting out there for my Uber to go home, and I politely asked a member of the band's crew, just out of curiosity, if they were coming back out or if they're just tired and they were going to call it a night. And, I figured that they were exhausted and they just wanted to get back into their bus and relax and unwind. Totally understandable. And I had already met the band that day anyway. But a few minutes before that, the band's crew basically had to cover Tatiana and run her back to the tour bus because people were starting to go crazy and asking for photos, which is a little bit extreme and unreasonable, especially after the band had already done a meet and greet, it's so, I think it's okay to respectfully ask for something, but these guys are also human beings. So we as fans need to remember to respect their space and their privacy. And the reason I bring this up is because I'm sure that must be part of the daily stress of being a band that's rising in popularity. It's something that they appreciate and they enjoy, but it's also something that has to be a source of stress, at least sometimes. Sometimes you just want a day to relax, to clear your head, or after you play a show, you just want to go back to your bus and have a beer or whatever. Just play games, watch TV, do something to unwind, to relax your mind. I think everyone wants to do that, no matter what kind of job they have. And even if you love what you do, and even if what you do is true art and true music and very brilliant and very enjoyable for many, many people, it's still work at the end of the day. It's just work that you really like. It's your life's work. That doesn't mean that it's not tiring. That doesn't mean that it's not a source of, insanity, when it builds up and builds up and builds up. And so I can almost be positive that there is a very legitimate fear there that, what if it all goes to my head? What if I lose the person that I once was? What if I forget who I really am? So I think that's what this song is really tackling, and I think that's a very interesting subject. And I don't know that a song that I've reacted to has dealt with that before, prior to this one. So that's really cool, and it's always nice to be able to talk about something unique, a little bit of change of subject when a band deals with something that I haven't really had the opportunity to talk about. So that's pretty cool, and I got to give them points for that. Some days you might just want to retreat to some dark, quiet place where you can be with your own thoughts. Some days you might feel anxious or overwhelmed, but you still have to go out and do a meet and greet. There's an onus of professionalism that you have to adhere to. And as far as I can see, this band has never fallen short of that. But that still is a big responsibility to take on. And I'm sure at times it can feel like insanity, it has to. So I very much think that's where they're coming from, and, this seems like a very personal album in a lot of ways. Because I know Home Back deals with the situation in Ukraine. Obviously, Pit of Consciousness is a personal song about their personal feelings, about their sense of identity and who they are. So it really would be interesting to do a few reviews of some more songs on this album, maybe in the coming weeks or months. I know there's people on the channel and in the Nuclear family that would love to see that. So maybe that's what I'll do, because I would love to unpack this album and to really get into each song individually and dissect it and get into the breakdown and analysis. That's something that, as a reactor and music reviewer, that's something I really enjoy doing. And the fact that these guys are one of my favorite bands of all time, I just love their music. I love these guys. That makes it even better. So I really enjoy doing this reaction and checking this out, even though I've heard it before. It was cool to see the video for the first time. And I hope they release more singles, by the way. I'd like to see a few more music videos dropped off of Macro. But we'll see. Time will tell. But yeah, this one, it did grow on me. It really did. But I have to be honest, as much as I love Jinjer and as much as I would love to heap praise on everything that they do, at the end of the day, I have to be fair and balanced no matter what. Whether it's my favorite band or a band I've never heard before. So, in the spirit of that honesty, when I think about my genuine like for this song, compared with the other songs on Macro, and factoring in the lyrics and the music video, I'm going to give this one a very strong 10 out of 12 in the Doomsday Clock. Almost an 11, but I'm going to keep it at a 10. So really good stuff, man. And I can't wait to revisit Jinjer again. Yeah, man. Just, it's a good thing to be a Jinjer fan. So there you have it, guys. My reaction, my review, my analysis. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for the support, as always. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And don't forget, if you're interested, patreon.com/nuclearreactions. Much love and respect to the Nuclear family, and I will catch you guys on the next one.